Welcome back, guys, and again, this is Mikeratto, and welcome back. And for today, there's two eras, two legends, two different superstars, two different star powers who will fight off in this What If, and that is What If Austin versus Hogan, Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan happened at WrestleMania 18. So for this match, well, there's a lot of booking involved. Well, it's more of the aftermath of the story because well, you have the story itself. Austin chasing the NWO, NWO destroying Austin, The Rock involved later on, to which well, that's the story itself. You can actually improve by having more chaos, or you can actually retain everything instead of the rock being hit by the monster truck or something like that. You know what happens with the vehicular things during Rock versus Hogan. You can put it on Austin versus Hogan, and the NWO target is Austin. That means that they are primarily focusing on Stone Cold Steve Austin. So you can have that booking. For this booking also, well, it's gonna be quite different because for her actually doing the aftermath of the story, and well, I know that there's a lot of changes when this match actually happens. Instead of Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania, let's also check for this what if, what are the crowd response exactly. Because remember, Austin and Hogan are the two primary superstars of both their generations, and while the crowd responds, despite of The Rock being a huge star in the Attitude Era, welcoming back Hulk Hogan in the WWE, Hogan having this huge cheers instead of him being booed out of the arena because well, it's Hulk Hogan. A lot of times while he is in WCW and the WWE fans, WWF fans by the time, they are excited by his return. So yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. So for the main event of WrestleMania, this actually happens instead of well, Triple H versus Chris Jericho. This Chris Jericho versus Triple H happens before Hogan versus Austin. As for The Rock, well, you can have him and Bradshaw versus the NWO. For the reason being that, well, Bradshaw will be later involved in the NWO storyline, so what makes it great? Involve him later on instead of being involved in the hardcore title scene. So that means that, well, Bradshaw is involved in the NWO storyline much earlier on. So, well, yeah, also we have to consider that, well, if Austin wins this match, that means that Hulk Hogan loses a lot of momentum. To cover that, we need a huge thing for Hulk Hogan, and that is the Undisputed Championship run later on. I know this happens also in real life, and well, people has their well mixed reaction towards it, but Hogan is a huge draw back then, so it kind of makes sense, despite of him being a heel. By before WrestleMania 18. So yeah, that happens. As for the face turn, if the crowd is really into Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18, despite of the change of, well, the main guy in that match, which is Rock being switched to Stone Cold Steve Austin, well, yeah, we can't ignore that in some way, or you can actually ignore it. But in this case, well, we will not ignore it, and still Austin and Hogan fights off the NWO just like well Rock and Hogan in real life. But just like in real life, Austin stuns again Hulk Hogan because well don't trust anybody. So yeah, Austin celebrates with himself and then everyone just cheers because of that. It's not a heel turn, it's just Austin thing of stunning everyone. So yeah. The face turn happens, that means that Hulk Hogan reverts back to his real American persona. Well, I have two things that I had in mind. And well, the first booking that I actually create for this video for the aftermath is having the NWO Hulk Hogan dominate till SummerSlam, but I realized that well, there's a lot of changes in the booking anyways. And well, you can have that, which well, you can have the Undisputed Championship, that's the booking one of Hogan still being a heel, dominating through SummerSlam. There's a lot of bookings that will happen, a lot of chasing between Austin, Undertaker, and all of those stuff. Well, that's my first booking that I actually created, rehashed and rehashed and rehashed. And for my second booking, well, we will actually focus on what happened in real life, but this time Austin will be more involved. So that means that, well, Brock Lesnar's push will happen later on. So yeah, sorry Brock, but your push will happen much later on. So that means that well, instead of The Rock winning the title from The Undertaker, well Austin wins the Undisputed Championship later on after Heel Taker Bikers run as the Undisputed Champion. I know that well, The Rock title run is short, but while you can have this short run also for Austin, or you can extend it before Royal Rumble 2003, and you can have Kurt Angle win off the title against Austin. So while you can have Austin focus on The Rock later on, and then well, when Angle wins the title, Brock wins the Royal Rumble, and then the same match happened at WrestleMania. So that means that Austin and The Rock happens for the final time. That means also that Brock and Kurt Angle happens for the WWE Championship, just like in real life. And also because Hulk Hogan is a babyface, that means that well, it's a huge possibility that well, Hogan versus McMahon will happen in WrestleMania 19. That means that well, the Undertaker also has his face turned later on after his heel American Badass gimmick, to which well he will return as this babyface persona, to which will not return but returning back to his face persona later on. So yeah, you have Brock Lesnar's push later on being delayed, but at the same time, while Brock Lesnar's push in this timeline, well, it's more of attacking huge superstars, but his WWE title, well, it is slowly built because of attacking huge superstars like The Undertaker, attacking him after his face run. That means that, well, when Undertaker turn face, he will attack The Undertaker, he will attack The Rock, because, well, he didn't have the title here. That means that he can have his match with Hulk Hogan, just like in real life, and all of those stuff, building up to WrestleMania 19. So that means that, well, Brock remains a heel during this time, and that means that well, Kurt Angle will either be the babyface or Brock turning face before WrestleMania. So yeah, you can have those two options for the WWE Championship, but because of well, yeah, we can say that possibly either one of those two will turn face before the WrestleMania show off. For well, yeah, the booking. So yeah, the only thing that will be changed in this timeline as well. So for the changes for Austin having the Undisputed Championship title run, and also Brock Lesnar's push will be delayed till the Royal Rumble. It's only a few months off. Also, will The Rock does not have a Undisputed Championship run, to which, well, yeah, he doesn't have the title run. Hogan having a short title run, but despite of him being a babyface and having the same thing in real life, well, it depends on WrestleMania if well we will go to booking A or to booking B, just like in real life, either Hogan dominating with the NWO as the heel champion till SummerSlam, or B, he will have the same booking in real life after WrestleMania, depending on the crowd response in the pay-per-view event. And as for The Undertaker, well, he will turn face just like in real life during his Undisputed Championship run before being dethroned by Stone Cold. And after that match, the two will shake off But because Stone Cold being Stone Cold, he stunned the Undertaker. That means that while making everyone happy. So yeah, that's the booking for this What If. I hope you all like this video. Like, comment down below, share, subscribe, and will support me by actually checking my Patreon out. Again, this is Mikeratto and peace.